Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one.
Like the car.
You want me to hold on to this, or do you want this back?
If you want to, you can fill it out and give it to me.
I can't hear you, man.
I said you can sign it and fill it out since you're detaining me.
Do it later then.
Well, I mean, if you're detaining me, you gotta do it. I mean, like I'm informing you too. Like just the way you're informing me, I'm informing you.
Well, for my safety, I'm not gonna do it right here, right now. Then I can barely see through your face. So.
Well, do you have a reason to believe that I'm? Do you have a reason to see through my tent?
I can't hear you, man. There's so much traffic out here.
You have a reason to believe that I'm a danger to you or something?
I didn't say that.
And what are you talking about your safety then?
I just can't think.
Well, what does that do with your safety?
I can't see what's on the other side.
You can't see what's on the other side of the wall. That doesn't make you like.
Yeah, so I don't know what's over there, so I don't go over there.
But you walk up to the car because you can't.
You're forced to traffic stop in.
But it's your safety though. All right, like it says. I have case law. You guys like case law. The right of a citizen to travel upon a public highway and transport his property thereon by horse-drawn carriage, wagon, automobile is not mere privilege which may be permitted or prohibited at will, but a common right which he has under his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Under this constitutional guarantee, one may therefore, under normal conditions, travel at his inclination among the public highway.
Are you reading that to me? Sorry, I can barely hear out here. We're in a big street, that's why.
I mean, I'm just reading it.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear it, I mean, it's good to know. That way we don't waste both of our time, because you're just wasting. It's a waste of time, and like traffic stops shouldn't take this long. Especially if I'm not operating a business.
If you don't want to provide your driver's license, do you want to just provide your name, date of birth, so I can just check it?
I'm not going to provide you with something that I'm not. I'm not going to provide you an entity that I'm not. I'm the man right here. You see me? I'm the man.
Sure.
That's me.
Okay.
That I can't identify as nothing else because I am me. I'm nothing else.
Okay.
So you want me to identify as something that I'm not, and I can't do that.
I just was asking for your name, date of birth.
Yeah, but that's fraud. That's basically fraud. Cause I'm telling you that
that's fraud.
Yeah, because you're saying that you want me to say that I'm that entity, which I'm not.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to you?
No.
So if I give you my driver's license and you say, "Is this you?" How is that me? If I'm looking at you right now, how would that be me?
I would ask if the picture on that driver's license is you, if that's what you're referring to. That's what I would ask you.
But how are you doing business with me?
I'm not doing business.
Yes. How are you creating money out of thin air?
Not.
Yes, you are, because you're gonna give me a citation that's gonna go. I have to go pay something. So
you're trying. Normal license plate on there.
You're trying. That is a normal license plate.
But it's a fix-it ticket.
That is my license.
State of California, as you.
But I'm not operating in commerce in this and I don't live in the state of California.
Like 2 more cars, man. What was that?
I'm not operating in commerce in California. I'm not in commercial business in California, and I don't live in the state of California. I live in California, which is way different than the state.
You live in California, but not in the state of California.
Yes, just like the father of Chris is not the same thing as Chris the father. Like the same thing. Like the father of Chris is not Chris the father. And that's my dad. So the state of California is not California.
All right.
Yeah, my name's Chris. I don't mind telling you my name. My name's Chris.
Chris, hey man, look, I'm not trying to give you a hard time or anything, man.
No, I know.
I gotta enforce the rules of the road.
I'm not giving you a hard time either. I'm not trying to give. I'm just trying to I'm just enforcing my duty, my rights.
Okay.
Which I understand. I've
totally
done the research into it. This is not my first time. You can watch it on YouTube. It's not really this is normal. And I'm trying to do this. I mean, I just want to leave. I want to know if I can go. That's it.
I'm just asking because you requested a supervisor.
Well, if I'm gonna be here, if you're gonna make me stay here, then
okay.
I just want to go. Well, Am I free to go?
You need to talk to them?
Am I free to go?
I'm asking you a question.
Am I free to go?
Just give me a second. Let me talk to them and then you.
Okay.
Hello. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Okay. What can I help you with, sir?
I just want to know if I'm free to go.
I can't hear you.
I just want to know if I'm free to go.
You're not free to go.
Okay. What am I being detained for?
What the officers explained to me is they stopped you for the license plate.
And I explained to them that I don't wish to contract with them, and I don't wish to do business with them. And
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
I told them that I don't want to contract with them, and I don't wish to do business with them, and I'm not giving up any of my rights.
Okay.
So at that sense that like I'm not breaking any law, I've not committed any crime, so there's no reason for me to provide that information that he's asking for.
Well, they have a lawful reason to stop you, and you're required by law to provide your identification to them.
That's a code, though. That's a code. That's a traffic infraction. That's not really a crime. I'm operating in my private capacity. He's operating. You guys are public servants. So there should be no interaction, and there's no reason for him to think I'm operating in commerce because there's no connection to commerce on my vehicle. So my thing is there's no reason for this stop. If that's what he stopped me for, there's no reason for the stop because there's no reason to assume that I'm operating in
as
that
a
capacity.
supervisor walking into this and what the officers explained to me and what I've observed, they do have a lawful reason to stop you and detain you for this, and you are required by law to provide identification. Now, if you disagree with that, that's fine, that's on you. Unfortunately, if you choose to not provide the information, they're going to be forced to take you to a magistrate, which means you'll be placed under arrest and charged with those 2 violations. The other option is...
That's fine. I think...
Okay, and just let me finish one second.
I went through this. I've already been through this. I'm going to give you guys...
The other option is they end up identifying you, who you are, okay? They write you a citation basically saying, hey, we observed this, it appeared to be a violation of law, and then you're given the opportunity to go before a magistrate and explain your side of the story, and ultimately the magistrate makes the decision. Our job is simply to enforce the laws as we see, and then a judge is the one that makes the decision in terms of culpability, violations, and things like that. But
Yeah,
you are required to provide them with information.
So it's my duty to enforce my rights, to know my rights and enforce them. At the end of the day, if you guys want to enforce your codes to violate my rights and commit a criminal act at that, by breaking my window and doing whatever you got to do to get me out, then that's... and you guys want to lose your qualified immunity for on that process, I'm okay with that. I'm willing to sit here and be in my truth. And at the end of the day, I understand the process that goes with, and by all means, like I'm willing to go to the 9th District Courthouse and take it all there if I have to. We don't have to do that.
Sir,
I just want to know if I'm free to go. That's it.
You can certainly do that. You're not free to go.
Okay.
So you have kind of 2 options here. You can provide the officers with your identification, allow them to, make their decision in terms of enforcement action.
So what are you arresting me for? If you take me out, what are you arresting me for?
Ultimately, you're going to be placed under arrest for failing to refuse to sign a ticket. So by signing a citation, and the officers need to identify you.
So that's
okay?
that's
hang on.
That's
let
what
me,
I'm
let me. You asked me a question.
I haven't even got a ticket. How are you?
You're not letting me finish, sir. Okay. The officers observe a violation. A ticket is basically saying, I observed this violation, and you signing the ticket would say, hey, I'm agreeing to either take care of the ticket or see a magistrate for them to make a decision regarding the violation. If you don't sign the ticket, there's no promise that you're going to appear or answer for the citation, and then our hands are kind of forced. Okay. Ultimately, the last thing that we want to do.
But by definition, so if you're gonna write out the definitions on the ticket of what you, so we have the same, we have the same understanding, I guess, or not understanding. I guess you would say comprehension of what's being discussed on there, like up here, and what definitions that you're using. That way, because there's no, you want me to sign a contract basically saying, and that's a contract. Anything with my signature is a contract. So you want me to sign a contract saying I'll appear, and you don't know. First of all, I can't appear anywhere because I'm not an entity to appear. I can't, just like I can't disappear. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you're asking me to do things. Yeah, but you're forcing me to. You're trying to force me to fraud, to do fraud basically, and sign something for something that I'm not. So at the end of the day, like you want me to do something that I morally cannot do because that's not me. and I don't wish to contract with you. If you guys are gonna force me to do business with you, basically.
Well, let me try to explain it to you this way from the officer's perspective. They have no idea who you are.
And they're not supposed. They have. Let me. At a human
sir,
perspective.
I need you to let me finish so I can explain to you.
But that makes no sense.
I've been listening to you and trying not to interrupt, but every time I'm talking, you're kind of talking over me. So you ask me a question, I'm trying to provide you with the answer. Okay? The officers observed a violation. They have no idea who you are because you're refusing to provide identification. Could be a wanted felon, could have a bunch of other things. Ultimately, they're doing the job that they are supposed to be doing. Their job is to identify you, make a decision on the enforcement action, and they could decide to give you an advisement. They could decide to write you a citation, or, you know, if you have an outstanding warrant or something like that, you could end up being placed in custody for it. So that's what, and all of this is stopped by you refusing to provide information to them, which you're required to do.
I also could be, but like just like you said, I could have an outstanding warrant. I also could be an outstanding citizen, or not a citizen, an outstanding human being, I guess you could say. I could work for the. You don't really know what I could be. So at the same time as you're trying to weigh it out on what, it's always like you don't create a criminal, you find a criminal in the act. What you're telling me is you're trying to create a criminal by me not allowing to have my right to privacy, which is my God-given right, and to be private in my papers. And even if I were to provide you my name and my information, that's something that's violating my rights again, because that's giving you something that you could use against me in court, which I have the right to not self-incriminate me, I guess you could say. So in that sense, like none of it makes sense to me. Like what you're asking for, I cannot give to you, because I don't wish to do business with you, and I don't want to cross that sand of going into commerce with you or going into business with you when I'm okay. I drive down the street plenty of times. I'm sure everybody sees me at night. My car lights up. I've done this plenty of times. I'm not worried in that sense. I will go and whatever you do, like I'm not gonna sit here and fight with you. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stay firm in my square and what I believe now, and respectfully, you know what I mean? Like in honor. I'm gonna stay in honor, and that's at the end of the day. Like the whole time, I'm gonna remain in honor and what I believe and what I know to be the truth.
So ultimately, that decision is yours, but I'm going to tell you the consequences of that decision path, okay? And I appreciate the fact that you're being respectful and we're having a conversation. That's what I'm trying to do to you. Ultimately, what is going to happen is, okay, we are going to get you out of the vehicle, and if you refuse to sign the citation, we have no choice but to take you before a magistrate. That is also going to involve us taking custody of your dog and your vehicle and a bunch of other things. You have an opportunity here to identify yourself, let the officer work through their course of investigation, make a decision as to the enforcement action, and then, you know, if you disagree with how things are working out, that's what the judicial process is for.
Yeah,
Speaking to a magistrate and all those things. Ultimately, if you refuse to do that, it's going to inconvenience you in terms of your vehicle will more than likely have to be impounded. Your dog is going to have to be taken care of.
How are you taking stuff that doesn't belong to you, or like how are you stealing everything? Like how are you stealing?
Oh, we're not stealing it. We're taking it into protective custody, because you're going to be placed in custody and taken to see a magistrate, and someone has to provide safeguards for your animal and the vehicle as well. Okay.
But it's parked right here. That's perfect. That's why I parked it right here. That way I didn't pull over, because I already know the way that the whole process is. I always take my car and park it where it's safe, because of that same where it's not blocking traffic. The
choice is yours, sir. Okay, and if you refuse, I appreciate the fact that you're saying you're not going to be violent or resistive. I mean, that makes me happy. I know you're recording me. I can see your phone. We have 4 cameras on you along with the vehicle, and all this contact.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
For a magistrate to make a decision on the matter.
I'm not worried about that.
So,
like, I mean, I'm not in your jurisdiction, and you're not going to force me in your jurisdiction.
You're in the city of Santa Monica in the state of California, and those are within our jurisdiction, sir.
I'm in Santa Monica in California. I'm not in any of the ofs. So, like, at the end of the day, like, if you want to place me under, like, I'm holding my status as a United States of America republic as a.
The last thing that we want to do is to violate any rights that are afforded to, you know, the people within the territories of the United States. However, these officers are trying to take an enforcement action. Okay.
Yeah, but they don't have the right to do that. Like
They do.
They don't have the right to do that. They don't. Look, I have the whole code right here. I can go through it right here. Fucking, I've done this plenty of times.
Do you have any sort of identification to offer us?
No, I usually don't need it. I don't go around committing crimes or anything. So I usually like don't really need to identify myself besides of who I am, and I know who I am, and I don't identify as anything else than who I am, the man, basically.
But we have no idea who you are, sir.
I'm a man. I'm a living, breathing man, which that alone right there should tell you everything you need to know. On that.
Your understanding and your prerogative is different from ours, and I'm trying to work through this with you to not inconvenience you, to let our officers do their job. But ultimately, you know, if you choose to be taken before a magistrate, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just trying to explain to you the consequences of what's going to happen. And I mean, if you choose that path, you know, we're able to comply with that. I'm just trying to do things being respectful to you and give you options and opportunities.
I mean, I don't know. What you guys can do whatever you guys have to do. I'm not changing my stance and what I believe in.
So are you refusing to provide identification at this point?
I'm not refusing to do anything. I'm not refusing to do it. I'm standing in my rights. I'm not refusing anything.
Have you provided the officers with your name?
I told them, my name's Chris.
You have your name, okay. And what's your last name, Chris?
I don't have a last name. I just go by Chris.
You don't have a last name?
That's a last name. Is not really like a last name is created by basically it's an entity created. Like you're not given a last name. You're just given a birth name.
Well, Chris, this conversation isn't going anywhere. I'm trying to afford you all the hospitality that I can to try to more or less close this encounter and let the officers do what they need to do, and also identify you to make a decision on the enforcement action. But you're precluding all that by not providing the information.
So you're gonna arrest me on failure to identify?
Yes.
That's a secondary offense.
Yes.
So what's the primary offense?
You were stopped for the license plate, which doesn't conform to California standards, as well as the covering on the license plate.
That's a code, though.
And I'd assume the tint on your windows.
That's a code, though. Those are codes. Those are code violations. So, like, what's the primary crime? What's the crime that you're?
This isn't the time to argue that.
Well, it is because you're trying to arrest me. You're trying to arrest me, so that's a valuable.
That would be with a magistrate, sir, and not out here.
Well, no, because you can't arrest me to begin with on a secondary crime if there's no crime that's been committed. So at the end of the day, you're trying to enforce something that's not in that you're not even allowed to do.
Well, sir, you're forcing our hand here. Okay.
I'm not forcing anything.
Okay.
Like your hand is your hand. It's your responsibility. At the end of the day, you're a peace officer. You're here
So shortly here in a moment, we're going to take you into custody. I would like your assurance that you're not going to strike or attack any of my officers.
I mean, you're trying to harm my property.
We're going to take you into custody.
Can you call the sheriff?
Damage your vehicle.
Can you call the
sheriff?
sheriff?
Anything like that.
Can you call the sheriffs?
I'm sorry?
Can you call the sheriffs?
No, I can't.
Can you talk to your supervisor?
You're refusing to provide information at the scene of a traffic stop. Our officers are kind of in a position where we have no choice.
Can I talk to your supervisor, please?
I am the supervisor, sir.
I need your supervisor.
I am the supervisor.
I need your supervisor.
Will you step out of the vehicle?
I need your supervisor, please.
I am the supervisor.
I need your supervisor. Thank you.
You will have legal recourse after this contact, but ultimately, you know, I want to close this encounter, and I'm asking you for your assistance in that by providing identification for us.
I don't have that. I don't have that. Like, you want me to provide something I don't have. So like you're gonna take me in for what? You're not gonna fingerprint me. You're not gonna do any of that. I'm not giving you something I don't have, and I'm not allowing you to violate my rights. And like that's just like if you want to, you're forcing my hand to like. You're forcing me to pull over and to exercise my duty, basically. Like this is my right. This is my duty as a man that lives on this land that I have the right to do. And I'm not.
I can't debate this.
I wasn't bothering anybody. I wasn't.
The person to make a rendering on this would be a magistrate.
Like
ultimately, you're going to have the opportunity to do that. Okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna waste all that money, all that time.
Sir, we don't know who you are.
You don't need to know who I am. But you don't need. I don't know who you are. I don't know who he is. I don't know who anybody is. I don't go around pulling people over like and asking them who they are.
Be on the citation, sir, for you.
I don't want to do business with you. I already said like this has taken way longer than I have. It is my choice. What are you talking about? Like, it's not. It's your choice. You're not supposed to be interrupting me.
Sir, will you step out of the vehicle, please?
Why?
Will you step out of the vehicle?
Why would you like me to step out?
We're going to take you into custody for refusing to sign a citation and asking to seek.
You haven't gave me a
magistrate to make
citation.
decision on the matter.
You haven't gave me a citation. How can I refuse a citation that you haven't gave me?
The officers can't because you're not providing them with information, sir.
So how can you charge me for something that you haven't even made?
The last thing that we want to do is damage your vehicle, but ultimately we're going to have to make access to it and take custody.
I mean, you're gonna pay for it. So at the end of the day, you're gonna pay for it.
You can file a claim with the city. That's how.
No, I'm not worried about that.
You're certainly within your rights to do that.
100%. I know. I've done it already.
As to this encounter.
I'm not worried about that part. It's just like that's I would love to get it on video because you'd be the first officer to break my window. And honestly, like
I'd
that's
rather not break your window.
that'd be good. That'd be good for.
I would rather not do that. Cause any sort of impact to your animal. I'm trying to give you as much respect as possible.
You actually put an impact to my YouTube channel. Okay. Actually, like that would be a big impact. So like I don't know what else to tell you. Like I'm trying to be very. I just want to go. Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
Okay. Can I talk to your supervisor, please? And he hasn't signed that. He hasn't signed my contract either. So I don't know why.
Chris, do you have any other identifying information for us?
Can he sign my contract first? The one can he sign it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it's bounded. He took it, so it's a bounding contract now. He received it.
Hey, Chris, do me a favor. Stay in the car. I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay. Am I free to go?
What's that?
Am I free to go? I need to give my dog water.
No, not yet. Chris? Hey, man. So, I get what you're trying to do, and I totally respect that, just so you know, all right?
I respect what you guys do, too.
So, I'm finishing talking to my sergeant. I don't want to have to place you under arrest.
I'm okay with it.
What was that?
I'm okay if that's what you're gonna do. If that's what you're gonna do, huh?
Why not just...
Because for me to break what I morally what I believe, if it means, man, like Jesus died on the cross doing this shit. Like if I have to go to jail for a couple of days or a day or whatever, which I've done before, and it's the same result at the end of the day. Like I'm willing to do that. Like I'm willing to do that for my peace. Like you know what I mean. At the end of the day, because I know that I'm doing shit for the right reasons.
All right.
Like
you want your paper back?
You can have it. I mean, I got.
I don't want you to say that I stole it when you're saying that. So
no, I mean, you can have that. I gave it to you. That one I gave to you.
Though, and I don't want to litter.
I mean, if you don't want it, then I'll take it back.
Sorry, I crumpled it up. Well, I didn't crumple it up. I folded it so it could fit in my pocket so it wouldn't fly away.
That's all right, man. Like I said, I respect what you guys do, bro. Just
you understand. This is what's gonna happen, okay? I'm gonna document this, okay? I'm gonna document this encounter. I'm sure I can, probably stream this online. I'm assuming.
Not really. I don't like to. Like I'll be honest. I don't do this for clout, for anything like that. Like I do it for my personal thing.
You have been on your way and brought back with the site, but just so you know, okay. So something comes of this in the future. You get pulled over, and now there's a paper trail of this, okay?
Oh yeah,
just
no.
So you understand, man.
Honestly, I know my car is identified. Like this is not like I said, it's not the first time. Like my car is.
Have you been arrested before?
My car is, huh?
Have you been arrested before for this?
Have I been arrested for this? No. I've had this.
This is the reason why you're going. Is number one, our radio is blowing up right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay?
No, I get it.
I want you to know that you're this close to being placed under arrest and then going. But there's people here that we need to respond. We can't. Like, dude, you would have been out of here 30 minutes ago, you know?
Yeah, but then I'll spend 2 hours in court. Am I free to go?
What's that?
Am I free to go?
Yeah, you're good to go.